Hi everyone, welcome. Ryan here from the London Craftsman channel. How are you keeping? And welcome to another video. This video in particular is all about this Edgebander, the portable Virutex AG98F. It's a hot air Edgebander and it will do a multitude of edge banding up to a thickness of 1 mil, I believe. And what I have here is some paintable edge banding. So this will go on the top of MDF and an oak veneer edge banding, both 22 mil in width. And yeah, I'm going to be demonstrating today using this machine because there's not many videos out on this particular edger. I have done one previously last year, but I was having problems feeding this edge banding through. As soon as you snipped it, then you need to feed it back through. I have solved the problem. It was just a small issue of having the jaws too tight and it wasn't just getting past the point there where it had to be in front of the roller. So I've solved that issue just by adjusting the jaw width. So that's not a problem anymore. So today I'm going to be just showing you the paintable edging, as you can see demonstrated on the machine right now, and the oak veneer, and just show you it in action, maybe give you a little bit of information and just show you the finished results. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So I've got two offcuts, and when you are doing MDF, just bear in mind that because this is quite thin, this paintable edging, if you have got a fluffy edge or you've got scratches or saw marks in your work, it is likely to show through. So just make sure you've got a nice cut edge with no marks. If you have, you're just going to have to sand those out, otherwise it will show through once you've edged it. So what I'm using today is my system here. I've got a T-track attached to my bench and I've got some Bessie copies. They're Vico. I'll leave some links in the description for all of this, by the way. So these slide into the T-track, and then my workpiece simply just slides in like so, and we just nip up those clamps. Really nice vice system, really easy. To start, we just simply feed the edging through this little bar here, and then through the gap, and then you will see it coming through the bottom of the roller, like so. Can you see it coming through? It's got to be underneath the roller, obviously, because the roller is the thing that pushes down the edging and puts the pressure on. So yeah, so that's all you need, just about 1 centimetre sticking through, and we are good to get cracking. So it's got 2 speeds. I generally have it on 2nd speed, so I don't have to go too slow. If you go too slow, then the edging will probably get too hot. It's on the 2nd speed in my eyes. It's a nice hot air coming out, you know, probably twice as hot. And yeah, you can just pick up the speed a little bit. You don't have to go too slow, less likely to burn or get all the glue squidging out the edges. Also want to mention that it's got this handle on the top, which is a little snipper. Okay, so once you get to the edge, once you're pulling it, so remember you're going in reverse when you use this edger, you're pulling it backwards. As soon as this back edge of this assembly here is in line with your workpiece, then I snip. And what you need to do with this edging though is try not to stop and start, because what we did notice as well, that it can leave roller marks. If you stop and carry on, stop and carry on, you want one smooth motion. So when you are snipping as well, you just need to keep an eye on when this is going to hit the edge and try not to stop the machine, just snip it as you're moving. And yeah, always put downwards pressure to firm that glue down once it's hot. As you get to the edge, just let it push down and just push that edging down right at the edge. Also, when you start, you just want to make sure you start with the roller. You'll feel the roller on the edge of the work here. Turn the machine on and then just roll it up and keep your pressure down. Keep it to the end and roll it down ever so slightly, but remember to snip it once the back of this assembly hits the back of your workpiece. So I think we're good to go. I have got the edging sticking out past the roller by about 1 centimetre. It's nice and taut on the roll. You just simply turn it to whatever setting you want. Like I said, I've got it on the 2nd setting. You've got 1 and 2. Yeah, and just get going. So once you have turned it on, don't leave it too long before you get going, otherwise it's just going to melt the glue on your edging and it's going to go all over your roller and all over the tip of your edger. So this is dismantleable as well, so if you do get that and you see glue squidging out, it's very simple to clean out. You just undo these 4 screws and this assembly comes off and you could get to the tip of the hot air gun effectively, because all this is a hot air gun with this fancy assembly on the top. I've got my jaws nicely positioned. So on the end here, you've got a knob. So all you need to do is just undo these 2 knobs here, this one and this one, which just releases them. They're like locking nuts. And then just turn this knob to the right tension, or the right, well, basically, so it's not too tight and it's not too loose. You want a little bit of play, otherwise it's going to squeeze your work and you won't be able to pull it, or if it's too loose, it's going to wobble all over the place. Maybe a mil or 2 play. That's fed through. Going to turn it on to setting 2. Feel the roller. There we go, we felt it. And remember, just try and keep a smooth motion. Give the edger the hot air time to melt the glue. If you go too fast, then obviously it's not going to melt the glue and stick properly. So I've got my hand in position here ready to snip, and then let it roll down the edge. Turn it off. And there it is, really simple. So we've got a nice firm joint. Okay, it's really solid. If I try and pull it off, right, that's me pulling hard. See, it's ripping the edging. So that is solid, okay? Really solid. Right, so let's look down it to see if we've got any ripples. Let's see if I can give you a shot. So I'm not sure if you can see the light, but as far as I can tell, we haven't got any ripples or roller marks. It's all about just being smooth. It's not hard to use this machine. Once you have set it up out of the box, you've got the roller on nicely, you've got the jaw set up properly, and you've used it a few times, it is really easy. So yeah, we've got no issues whatsoever. While I'm talking though, just beware that this paintable edging, I did have someone messaging me saying that they sprayed over it and it's chipping off. What I would say is, because this is quite shiny, once you have finished, just like any other component you would do, is obviously trim it up, take those arises off. To take the arises off, I use this 1.6mm radius cutter. I'll leave a link in the description, along with a Katsu router. Brilliant router for such a cheap amount of money. Going off topic, but once you've done that, make sure as you're sanding all your component up, sand this up too, okay? Rough up a little bit. Maybe some P120 on there just to give it a little rough feel to it before you spray. Obviously go through the motions of priming it properly, etc, and you should be fine. We've done loads of jobs with this edging and we haven't had any problems. So I don't think you need to be worried about it. After all, this is proper edging tape, paintable edging tape, and it is meant for this purpose. So that is the MDF done. So I'm going to swap this sample over for the oak veneer board, and I'm going to swap this edging over for the oak veneer edging. Okay, like I said, with this system, it's so easy with the ratchet clamps and the channel. Do that, lift it up, done. So I need to adjust these jaws ever so slightly wider because this is 19mm. To do that, I'm just going to release these 2, like I said earlier, and then wind this knob out ever so slightly to make it bigger. Going to test it. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I'm happy with that. Knit those nuts up. Yep. Just release that knob, and then this little assembly comes off. This little windmill shaped piece. Remove your edging. Just make sure it's being fed through the right way, not back to front. So now I've got my edging place roughly center, okay? Then we need to adjust these out as far as they can go, like so, and knit them up, because that's going to stop it doing all of this, okay? So you want it center, nip it up, and again on this one, and then squeeze the last one out a little bit more, just because you don't want it to spin on the reel also, okay? So if I hold this, try and spin it, okay, it's not spinning. That's what you want. Need to get rid of that. And then next we need to put this back on, feed it back through like so, put a little bit of pressure down between the two, like so. Again, we don't want these fins squeezing it around the outer points, okay? But I think that's why they've designed it so it's loose at the top. It's squeezing it here, but then it just splays out ever so slightly here, so it's not squeezing your edging. And yeah, we're good to go on that. While we're here, we'll feed that through the bar, and then we'll feed it through the machine, and we'll keep going until we see the edging popping through below the roller. There we go. All right, so we're good to go now. So as you can see, it was really, really easy. It's probably about 3 minutes to change that. Once you've done it a few times, it'll be really easy. The first time, you're always obviously just getting to know the machine and how it works. But then once you know, you know. You hear squeaking, that's Sean's roller behind me. He's rollering some glue. Sounds like a little mouse over there. All right, so we're good to go on that. We've got the jaws adjusted. We've got this set correctly. We've got it fed through. I'll set the camera up on the other side, and we will start edging the oak veneer. Okay, so I've got myself a piece of oak veneer. Let's clamp it up. Okay, so I swapped this over because the other sample I had was too thin. The bottom of the machine was hitting the bench. And so I've got a smaller sample. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a go. Don't forget to snip it. There we go, happy with that. Rushed a little bit at the front, so it's not stuck there. But if I wasn't filming, I would have taken my time on that and made sure that was down. But yeah, it's very, very good. It's solid. Really happy with that. Stuck really, really solidly. All the glue's melted. Apart from that bit where I just went a little bit too fast on the start. So we've done a very good job. There are a few bits that you just need to get used to, feeding it through. If you have problems as you're pulling this through and your edging is skating along the surface as you're getting going, then what I found is there's a little bit too much friction in that bar on this tougher edging, the wooden edging, as opposed to the really flexible paintable edging. Especially if you're going to go thicker, you may want to just leave it out of that bar and just feed it straight through. Okay, every time you use the machine, you snip it, you're just going to have to feed it through until it hits or comes through the bottom of the roller. Again, that's a little downside to it, but I don't think it's too much of a negative. To clean it, all you need to do is undo those 4 screws there, and this assembly comes off. Then you can use this as a hot air gun too. So when we were edging bits like this, we had a job where we had to edge around some slightly bigger curves than this, but we used the hot air gun to get into those gaps with some oak veneer, and it worked really, really well. So it's sort of like a 2-in-1. I don't think it's that expensive for what it is. You are trying to edge and you're doing lots of it without investing thousands into a big giant machine. For something that's only going to cost you 200 or so pounds, it's a really, really good machine. It's either that or the iron. I mean, this is super fast. You saw how fast I just went through one piece. It snips it right at the end, and you don't need to keep on cutting your pieces with the iron. So when you are ironing with just a standard iron, you're going to have to cut your pieces to length. And yeah, it's probably 2 or 3 times longer. We did do a comparison, so watch that video up above if you want to see this compared to the iron. But other than that, yeah, not much else to say on it, apart from it's a pretty good machine. It does up to 50 mil, I believe. I think it will go up to 1 mil in thickness. This is 0.5 mil. Don't quote me on that, but it will be in the website, all those specs. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you have, like and subscribe. We're at 33,000 subscribers, so we're trying to get to 50,000 by the end of the year. You think it's doable? I think it is. So hit that subscribe button if you're already not subscribed. So So thanks for watching. If you do like this machine, there's a link in the video description, as well as a few other bits and pieces that I use. If you do buy through my links, I earn a tiny bit of commission and it all helps. So thank you very much in advance if you do. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy, have a good rest of the day. See you next Sunday.